Okay, I've had a lot of people ask me my opinion on if Kohberger was the Doordasher or not. So I thought I would finally address that. I do not believe he was the Doordasher. There's a couple reasons for this. First of all is if he was the Doordasher, both the prosecution and the defense would be shouting it from the mountaintops. The prosecution would be using it as inculpatory evidence to say, here's proof he was at the house and had contact with the victims. And the defense would be using it as exculpatory as his alibi to say, well, the only reason why he was near there was because he was delivering food. Duh. So both sides would be using that. And the fact that the defense is saying he wasn't even in Moscow tells you he wasn't the Doordasher. Second reason is his phone wasn't responding to the network for that 2 hour time frame. If he was doing DoorDash, his phone would have had to have been online. So he wouldn't have been able to put it in airplane mode or shut it off because he would have had to use his phone for the order information and putting in that he's completed the orders and taking the pictures that he's dropped orders off, etc. And lastly, why I don't believe he is the Doordasher is the PCA also makes it very clear that it's a separate person than Kohberger. They talk about how the Dasher notified them. So for those reasons, I don't believe he was the Doordasher. Now, another thing I want to address, because I've seen several people bring this up as well, is why was Pullman Police or WSU Police searching for a sheath? Why did the search warrant say a knife and a sheath to be looked for at his apartment? Well, that is simple common sense, really. When you lose an item or misplace an item, like a case, like a sheath, you tend to replace it. Case in point, I lost my binocular case at a football game a couple of years back. Thought I put it in my stadium bag, got home, case was gone. Binoculars there, case was gone. So what did I do? I ordered a new case the next day on Amazon. People misplace their sunglass cases. They go buy a new case. A K-bar knife, big knife. You don't want it sitting around without a sheath, sharp blade. So it's common sense that a person would order a replacement sheath if they were keeping the knife. So what they were doing was they were looking to see if A, the knife was at his apartment, and B, if he had got a new sheath for it. And if he had a new sheath for it, then they would have looked at when he purchased that. And if he had purchased it within a couple days after the murders, then that would be another piece of evidence that could be used to put together probable cause. Now, I don't believe they're ever going to find the knife, so I don't think he would have ordered a new sheath anyway. I think that knife is long gone. He discarded it long ago. But that is the reason why on the search warrant they were looking for a sheath, because if a person's holding on to the knife, it's likely they're going to buy a new sheath to keep it in. So hopefully that clears some things up.